Hey everybody. If you want to be on camera or speak, just please raise your hand. I will promote you to panelist. Welcome everybody. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How great was that article on fatigue this morning?
Well, I'm very fatigued right now, so maybe I should.
Lots of great information in there, as always, with Adam's articles.
It was. It's incredible.
Yes, I just finished it.
Hi, Ben.
Hello. Lovely to see everyone.
Hey, good morning.
My wife loves your voice, Ben. She's driving me to my specialist appointment right now.
Oh, I'm glad it's the only one I have.
Say hi. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear lady. You keep him safe. He's a legend around here.
He is.
Yes, absolutely.
Coming from a legend, I tell you, you guys are awesome.
Hey, good luck today with what you're doing, by the way, Ray.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just hoping to get some answers and all that. I haven't been into the gym since Friday. I pulled something in my left finger and I couldn't grip a barbell for 3 days, and then with the face appointments and everything going on. So I'm hoping to get to the gym today, later, if not tomorrow. So just letting my body recover and doing what I have to do for myself.
That's all
Yes, that's very important. All you can do.
Yeah.
Oh. Nick says he's having a Wi-Fi problem. Probably should be here in like 2 minutes.
Nick is a problem.
I know.
He
It's
does
that
tell us to
caveman
be the
mentality.
problem.
Hi, Emily. Hi, Peggy.
Hi.
Yeah, I won't be able to be in here super long. We're about 40 minutes away from the appointment, but figured I'd stop in and say hi on my way.
Thanks for doing that, Ray.
We're glad you did.
Well, the video that Nick did that you helped him with, Noah, that was amazing. I just hope that when you start seeing that, I can encourage everybody to do progress pictures, progress videos, because when I look back at that first video and go, holy moly, that's where I was like a year ago. And
Yeah.
the change in confidence, the change in strength, the change in form and everything because of the coaching. And it's just amazing. I just hope everybody can take advantage of that and, starts getting in on these Zooms and putting in these videos and it doesn't, have to be everything. I submitted a video here at the last second just with some pull-ups. It doesn't have to be anything special. It doesn't have to be deadlifts or heavy squats or anything like that. Whatever exercise you have, whatever thing you're struggling with, body weight push-ups, I don't care. I hope people are putting in and getting hints on how to do it, because I learn something every Zoom about the most basic lifts. I'm like, wait a second, I've been doing that kind of wrong, or that's a better way I could do that and get more feeling out of it. So, yeah, use the benefit while we have it. It's great.
Hey, let me ask you a quick
I
question
agree.
before we get started, since Nick's late. You guys doing, oh my gosh, what is it? Inverted row?
Yep.
Okay. So, I just recently bought that,
Rack.
whatever it is, the big, I don't even know.
Power rack?
The
Power
rack.
rack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I have the bar. Okay. Where do you put yourself for that inverted row when you start? Like, should your arm be straight up or a little bit more in front?
I've usually got them a little angled, a little out in front of me when I'm doing them.
Okay, that makes sense to me. And I think that's what I'm seeing on the video with Arnold and Ketch. But sometimes I find my body slipping and then I'm right underneath it and it's super hard. So yeah, I'll keep it out in front.
All right, guys. Sorry I'm late. Had to reset my router. Living out in the boony problems.
The
If you
pirate
were trying to be a
arrives.
mountain man,
Yeah, it's Wi-Fi can be a little temperamental around here. How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Fantastic.
Right, good, awesome.
Very well.
Good. We have we can jump right into it. Do we have any questions, issues, concerns out of the gate? No? No questions?
Evidently not.
Let's see the Q&A tab.
Yeah, I have a question, Nick, if nobody else does.
Sure.
So I'm looking to, sorry, go ahead, Andre.
Fight to the death.
Did I just hear that right?
Well, somebody say something.
Okay, I'll jump back in then.
Something.
So I'm looking to get a pair of lifting shoes for my squats with an elevated heel. Does anybody have any recommended brands, whether it's Nick or Noah, anybody else?
Yeah, so it can come down to preference. I don't know how your feet are. I've got 10,000 BCs. My feet are wide and thick, so there's not many shoes in general that fit my feet. But I have found that there's been a big popular surge with the squat university lifters with the wider toe box. I have the Reeboks. And I really like them. The reason why I really like them is because with Olympic lifting shoes, you want a really rigid sole. Like it's hard to like push. And the reason by that is when you pop in a triple extension, that's where that rigid sole comes in handy and it gives you that stability. Nike makes a good one. The Ramaleoses, in my opinion, if you can find them, the Ramaleos 2s. They're on the 4th iteration now. But the Ramaleos 2s, they're heavier, but they just literally last for years. I had a pair of the 3s. I blew out the sides. Literally feet split out the sides. Just because that's what my feet do to shoes. The Reeboks, I love. Adidas makes them. You've got Dewins. You've got Innovate. I had a pair of those. Those are my first pair. I liked them. They're lighter, but the Reeboks so far have been my favorite because of how rigid and how hard the soles are. It's immediate. It's immediate input. So any sort of flexion your foot goes in, it is very strongly supported by the sole. And a good lifter has a nice rigid sole.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I just don't want to spend $200 and have the side blow out or,
No, and to be fair, I used to be a tester for Nike, so those were actually custom made for my feet, and I still blew them out. And the shoe was great. Fun little fact: the Ramaleos 4s have this little support piece on the outside, like just before the pinky toe. That was actually a piece when they had me out for R&D for the shoe, and it's on the inside of the ball of the foot. And they had me apply. You stand on this mat, and it reads sensors where you're applying floor pressure. I had to sign like a non-disclosure and everything, but the shoe's released now, so I can talk about it. And they were showing where foot pressure was, and they found that with all the athletes doing clean and jerks, that's where the big portions were. So that was the big change for the Ramaleos 4s, was where they added these supports on the near the pinky toe and the ball of the foot. I haven't used the Ramaleos 4s. I love the Reeboks now. They're heavier, they're harder. So if I were to give you one as a recommendation, I really like the Reeboks that I'm using now, and I've been using them I've had them for about a year. My Ramaleos 3s, I did get 3 years out of them, so it's not like I spent $200 and they blew out. Like I used the shit out of them. So
yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you very much. I'll look into this.
Jerry has his see Jerry's got a hand raised.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
Hey man, I had a question. So in my workout yesterday, it asked me to do the barbell high pull. And that's something new for me. And I had a little trouble between the video and reading the tips, figuring out exactly how the movement works. I was wondering if you could kind of try to explain it to me, because it
Yeah.
either felt like I was doing like a wide, like my arms were out wide for an upright row, or it was like I was exploding up, like I was getting ready to do like a hang clean, you know? And I
Yeah.
feel like I
So
was kind of somewhere in between, maybe.
there's a couple ways to do a high pull. There's one like you've got like sumo high pulls, you've got regular high pulls. So you're gonna actually have a little bit of a narrower grip, and you're gonna, or like I call it like Olympic grip, like you're gonna clean the barbell, and as you come up with it, you're gonna finish here in front of you with your elbows high. So you explode, use that leg drive, come off the ground, you're gonna come up and you're gonna pull high here and come back down. So it's like a deadlift, and then as it comes up, it needs to be a weight light enough that as you come up like you're gonna lock out a deadlift, you can keep that momentum going. It's an explosive movement.
Okay, that's kind of how I was
Yeah.
doing it, but that's how the description read, and the video looked slightly different. So that's why, I won't. I'm still pretty new to this, working
Yeah,
out.
no
So I
worries.
am just trying to make sure that I'm not going to set myself up for injury, or I'm using the wrong muscles and I'm not getting the benefits of what I'm supposed to be getting that day.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at the video and see what it uh I haven't seen our example video on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an explosive movement. Don't jerk it off the floor. Accelerate the bar and use that momentum and finish with like a high pull in front of your face.
Okay, rad. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. James,
Hey, how you doing?
good. You?
Good. It's just kind of an overarching thing. Like I've been doing the workouts for like 69 or 70 weeks straight. And initially I lost about 25 pounds. So whatever that was, 8, 9 months, felt like a lot of success. Um, I feel like a little bit stuck right now. Like I don't have any kind of small wins. I'm trying to figure out like little progressions or wins that can keep me motivated. Not that I'm not motivated, but just feel like I'm having success. I'm not really losing weight. I can see my body changing, but just do you have any thoughts on like kind of
Well,
small?
what's your goal?
Well, I want to look like I work out and I want to feel good. Like I don't have huge goals. Like I want to see a little bit of my abs. I want a little bit more muscle. Like right now I'm doing a weight loss program because I feel like I need to lose some midsection. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So when it comes to losing weight, when you first start, there's typically you get this like nice big decline in weight, and then you'll get to a point where um if you're working out, it requires fuel. So if
Okay.
it's not moving, I don't know what your calories are like or what your nutrition looks like at all. So it's going to be really hard to give you a completely educated answer on this because I don't have all the information.
Yeah.
But typically when you plateau like that, what you're doing for workout is requiring the amount of intake that you're taking or more. So your weight's not dropping because your body's trying to hold on to fuel these workouts.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
uh here's the thing. At this point, I wouldn't go off of the number on the scale. I would go off of body composition because what's going to happen is there's going to be a shift because your body composition is changing. So it's going to be muscle and fat, and you're going to lose, gain, 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 and then you're here. And it's like, all right, what are we doing? Are we going to eat so we can gain? Or are we going to keep eating so we can keep losing fat but keeping muscle the same? So you need to have your nutrition align with your body composition goals. And now you said you look like you want to work out. So eating for that body composition is what's going to be priority versus eating for the number on the scale. And eating based off body composition, take a picture once a month without a shirt on. See so you can see the changes over time. I don't know if you're following any sort of nutrition plan, but that's going to be a big factor, especially if it comes to like the belly fat. Like abs are made in the kitchen; they're not made in the gym. 100% in the kitchen. So it's going to be what you eat and how much you eat. With that being said, if you're are you getting stronger?
Yeah. I feel like I am. Yeah.
So you're getting stronger. That means that's a good sign. It means you haven't completely stalled. When you're starting to struggle to gain strength and lose weight, that's a really, really good indicator that you're underfed. So your
Okay.
body's holding on to everything. And it's not really changing because you're not really fueling it for either. So it's going to be a matter of, okay, what is my short-term primary goal? And that's okay to tone up and eat leaner, which is going to mean higher protein intake, less fat, moderate carbs, things of that nature. So it's all about how you, again, I don't know if you use the nutrition tracker.
I am. I'm probably not getting enough protein, and based on the tracker, I'm not getting enough carbohydrates.
How much protein are you taking there in grams?
Well, I'm just doing it by, so it's saying I need 9. I'm probably getting like 7 of the.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm useless when it comes to talking about this nutrition tracker because that's not how I'm old school. I track in grams, like proteins, carbs, fats. It's just how I'm ingrained. So when it comes to that, like you want to try and hit like at least 1.5 times your body weight in grams of protein.
Okay.
So proteins are your most satiating macro. Like they're what make you feel full and keep you full. Carbs and fats are fuel. Carbs are your quick burning, fats are your longer burning. That's why typically when you're working out intensely, you have higher carbs and less fats, whereas like endurance athletes typically have a little bit more balanced carb fat ratio. And they will carb load before like a race or something, but they need that long term because they're running for God knows how long. So it's gonna, odds are you're gonna need more protein, and like you said, you think you're under on carbs. So a big thing is like timing your carbs before your workout and after your workout. So you have the fuel before and after, and then your breakfast and your dinner might be carb light, but continue that protein heavy routine.
Okay.
So you said it yourself. I think I need to up my protein. Odds are that's probably true.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate it.
Cool. Dipian.
Yeah, hi. My question was actually a follow-up to what Jerry asked on the barbell high pull. Now, I think the critical part is how close to the chest do I keep the bar? And at the top position, should my upper arm be just horizontal to the floor and not go above it?
Your elbows should be above you're not pulling like this. You're pulling like this. So like for me, high pull ends kind of just below my chin. But you're keeping that bar like literally right here.
On the chest. So that
somewhere
there's
in
no momentum on the shoulder, right?
It depends on mobility, things like that, whether you're this close or you're this close. But you don't want it out here.
And at the top part of the movement, should I pull the bar back?
Yeah, I mean,
to activate the rear deltoid.
Because you're pulling vertically. So you should be pulling here. You shouldn't be pulling back at the top. So you're not finishing by going like this. You're finishing by squeezing with those rear delts and those traps.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Ty, go ahead.
So I was going to ask, but I think talking with the shoes that might have answered my question. I'm starting to slip and slide when I'm doing my squats. Would shoes help with that to keep my grip on the ground while I'm squatting?
Say that again?
So, like when I squat, I'm finding that my heels like to move or my toes like to move just because I'm working out in socks rather than shoes. Should I go for the shoes now to keep that grip so I can keep my base in place, or
take your socks off?
Go barefoot. Just go straight barefoot.
Yeah, I never train in socks just because they're socks. And adds a movable barrier.
Okay.
If you want to go the lifter route with the heel elevation so you don't have to stand on plates, that's fine. But I don't think they're necessary, especially not if you're gonna go lifters. It's not gonna be for a grip reason. It's gonna be for that heel elevation to get those
keep that form.
built.
Okay.
But yeah, just take your socks off.
Okay. Yeah, I've just noticed that as I went away from my other squishy shoes, and then I'm like, wait, I'm having a hard time keeping my feet where they need to be. So
yeah. Ditch the socks, and you should notice a night and day difference.
Okay, awesome. And then really quickly too, James, I mean, I've been doing this for now 2 years, and I've got some weight to lose. I lost a little bit at first, and then I lost nothing and actually even gained for a while just because of the body composition changes, because that's what was happening. It's just more recently I've started to actually lose again, keeping up with my weight and everything. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to the weight scale either. Pay attention to how you feel.
There you go.
Thanks.
That's sound advice.
Very well said, Ty.
I got some questions in the Q&A. Morgan, how are the insoles of those shoes? My instep seems to collapse, working through some muscle atrophy currently. They're super rigid. They're just a super hard soled shoe because of their function. You don't want any give. Morgan, is that you, Morgan? Go ahead. You gotta unmute yourself.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah.
All right. Zoom newbie, sorry.
No worries.
I actually also had a question. The shoe piece, that's great. I think I'll try the ones you recommended. I keep kind of like juggling through shoes, and I've got a stupid collection of ones that I'm not using that are getting donated.
Nice.
As my question, do you recommend or do you use like a pre-workout, and how long do you use them for before like taking breaks in between?
I don't use pre-workout. I go on hatred. I don't. Partially because I got diagnosed with AFib in 2019. I went into SVT, supraventricular tachycardia, and I started losing motor skill function, got rushed to the hospital, and cardioverted. And to this day, they don't know why or what caused it. But I get blood work done on the reg. They said even unmedicated, I'm at a 0.02% stroke risk. So because healthy, hemoglobin's good, all the I'm hitting all the markers nutritionally to keep. I'm literally managing it nutritionally. I haven't had a palpitation in 6 months. So I don't take any sort of intense stimulants like that. I might do like a Red Bull every once in a while just because I like the way they taste. But they're 180 milligrams of caffeine. It's nothing crazy. But typically if I need a little something before a workout, I'll make a single cup of coffee and then I'll go get after it. And typically once I start moving, I wake up. But I just don't recommend pre-workouts. I think they're a crutch. I understand after a long day how they can be useful, but as someone who used to work a 12-hour shift iron working, I was a connector up on top steel, used to stand on the steel beams. I would connect from crane to structure. I would do that for 12 hours and I'd drive 2 hours home from DC. And I would do a 2-hour training session and be absolutely cooked, but how bad do you want it? You know?
Yeah. Well, and you
Uh,
probably slept better if you were that cooked too.
yeah. So, I just don't recommend pre-workouts. I think, I don't think they really add anything that you can't get your brain to do. It's a mental game, in my opinion. I would
Nice.
say, maybe a cup of coffee or something, or if anything, like a little caffeine tablet. But all the stimulants that raise your blood pressure and everything like that, um, I don't think long term it's the best idea per se.
That makes
Uh,
sense.
so that may not have been
One,
the answer you're looking for, but
no, you did for sure. One thing too, I think part of the confusion on the high pull is I think in Adam's demonstration, he's bent over when he's doing the high pull in the training app,
I'd have to
which
see it.
which might be why everyone's like, wait, do I go back and forward or like a standing high pull, exactly how you were explaining. But I think in the
Yeah, that's how
demonstration
I've
video,
always done high pulls. I've either done them that way or sumo high pulls. Um, because
well, and it
of
might
the
be
translation of strongman implements, you're standing wide to pick up a stone or a sandbag. So to have that explosive strength in a wide stance carries over. But I've only ever done them in that standing format to where you pull up high. I've never done them bent over. So I'll actually get with Adam. I'll look at that video. But in my opinion, that's what a high pull is supposed to be. It's supposed to be an explosive movement that you come through into extension.
it may be the face pull that I'm thinking too, actually.
Yeah, face pull, you're pulling here.
Yeah. He might be bent over on that one.
Could be, depends on where you have your anchor set, whether it's down low and you're bent over and you're pulling to your face. High pulls I always understood as a vertical pull.
Definitely vertical on the high pull, guys.
There we go. Thank you.
Sweet.
Definitely vertical on the high pull. You might see a slight hip extension on the high pull to get people to understand explosiveness. But the high pull, the big thing with that is you're vertical, you're pulling it up around chest height. If you've got the mobility, you can go a little bit higher, but you are not going to be horizontal. And any type of face pull, even, it depends on the variation. If you're on a face pull, you might do it chest supported to remove the momentum, but a face pull is about external rotation, right? So you're getting that backside. But yeah, if you are doing a high pull, your torso is not facing the ground. Your torso is upright. Sometimes when I do the high pull, so that people, again, understand the hard part with a lot of these complex movements is like people asking about doing clean and press, right? If you're doing a standing clean and press, this is a very, very technical movement. And people are like, well, why are we doing the seated variation? Because the seated variation is essentially teaching your traps how to explode up to catch the bar and then to press without having to worry about the lower body variation. But yeah, if you are a high pull, inherently you're high, you're vertical.
You heard me say his name.
Guys, I'm here. I'm lurking. School's in the morning. I got one of my sons. I got my daughter here eating, doing something. We got a little pump club, product placement.
I love it.
Good morning.
All right.
I love
Surprised
this.
Adam
Fantastic.
visit. Nice.
Adam,
Always lurking, hiding behind the scenes.
Gabriel, go
Never
ahead.
lurking.
That
Should we
was
call
nice to confirm because
Adam the
I
lurker
haven't
then?
seen I haven't seen all the workout videos, and I like to align. And I would have been shocked if that'd have been the first time I've seen a bent over high pull. I've never heard of that.
But is it okay to get a little swing of the hips to
Your
pull
hips
the
have
bar?
to come through.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
you swing a little to
The
pull it
bar
up.
has to go from either hang position or floor position. So your hips have to travel through either way. It shouldn't be coming off your hips like a Olympic clean.
Right.
But your hips still have to advance through, even getting into some triplet. Triple extension is okay, Adam. I'm viewing this from a strength standpoint where we like explosion. And I've even, when I do really, really, really heavy high pulls for a specific event, I'm actually getting into triple extension. Triple extension is when you're on your toes, your hips are through, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, and you're exploding, almost trying to jump off the ground with that weight. So that's how I execute my high pulls, because that's how they translate into what I'm trying to accomplish. And that's how I've always coached them. Because it is meant, when you have anything that requires motion, right? All we're doing is fighting gravity. And gravity's going to win every single time, but we can win just for a split second when we got the bar off the ground. So we want to focus on not just moving the bar, but as soon as it breaks the ground, creating bar speed faster and faster and faster till we rise and we squeeze the top and gravity brings us back down. So I don't want you to just bring it up. I want you to accelerate, speed up the bar as it moves up through the air. So you drive off the floor through the center of your foot, much like a deadlift or a squat. You're pushing the ground away if you're doing it from the floor. If you're doing it from a hang position, say you don't have bumper plates, I understand. If you got to modify and do it from a hang position, you need to still push through the center of that foot. As your hips come through, we're rising to our toes. We're on our tippy toes, and we're bringing that bar up right in front of our face as high as we can, and we're squeezing with that trap, that those rear delts, that upper back, all that stuff from the chest up. That's what we finish with. So we're actually, when I finish my high pull, I'm actually in this position versus here. So I'm
got it. Got it.
You guys, and that's right. It's hard to in any standing exercise, unless you're doing like a strict press, right? Any upper body standing exercise, it's not like you can just detach your legs from your upper body. So there's a difference between generating force and necessitating unnecessary momentum, right? And when Nick is talking about that triple extension, when you want to think about that high pull, it is like he said, when I think about high pull, I think about it's like a jump, right? The lower body, that triple extension is like a jump where the hips are not going all when you're jumping. If you're trying to, you're not getting down into a deep squat, ideally. You're lightly loading by pushing the hips back, and then you are exploding upwards. So what Nick is talking about is creating force through the lower body in order to create as much force in the upper body. Because if he's not pushing through the earth, he's fundamentally limiting the amount of force that he can create, which is limiting the amount of muscle that he can essentially activate, or the force that he can generate to create more strength.
You need speed to have power. They are synonymous with each other. If you don't have speed, you don't have power. Technically, powerlifting is the wrong name for the sport because they're going for max effort. So there's no speed. It should be called, technically, it should be called strength lifting. Olympic lifting should be called powerlifting because it's all based on explosion.
Right, which Nick, as an aside, you can even explain like when you go through a training cycle, and it even ties into. There's an article today about recovery and how I call it the catch-all rule. How catch always thought that getting stronger just meant trying to PR every single session, and that is a gigantic misnomer. Like you're oftentimes not training at your max level until like the day of competition or when you want to test and see where you're at, as opposed to right when you're building true strength. A proxy of strength is going to be speed. It's going to be power. So Nick, if you want to talk about like days where you're doing right work that is about the speed of the bar, where it's like it doesn't make sense that you would be moving a lighter load at such a fast speed, but that's an important part of building strength and generating power.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have speed deadlifts today. Today's a speed day. So
so explain what this means and why it's so important to the translation of strength. So I think a lot of people just think I need to get stronger, get stronger, get stronger. And especially when we get the Nic program in there, you're going to see that there are different variables that when you're trying to, at a certain point, right? Like in earlier parts of your training, right? Some of this is just linear. We are trying to get you a little bit stronger each session. But as you start to hit different thresholds of strength, if you want to get stronger, you can't just add weight to the bar. You have to understand how to generate speed and power. So if you can talk about how your training cycles, then that might help people understand a little bit about how strength is built.
So there's a couple ways that it's not just through speed work. It's not just through adding weight to the bar. We utilize things like isometrics, which is like holds for time, tempos, whether you have a tempo concentric, which is like, say you're up, so it'd be the up part of the squat, or tempo eccentric, which is the down. We utilize those. So for me, if I deadlift heavy more than once a week, it wrecks me for typically the rest of the training sessions for the week. So typically when you have a really, really strong athlete, the stronger you get, the more it costs. So this is what Adam was saying is you can't just keep adding weight to the bar and expect there to be strength gains because you'll just run into the ground. So we utilize things like speed work. Now there are programs out there like Conjugate, which absolutely destroy your soul because there's a lot of banded work. You'll be doing like 3 rep maxes with bands. Now, bands go over the bar and you pull against the band tension. So for me, for example, today, I have speed deadlifts. Now, speed, my coach has a set time from ground to lockout that I need to maintain within that to be considered a speed rep. I don't actually time it. I know what it feels like and I know what it looks like. So I had heavy deadlifts on Saturday. I'd set of 5 clusters and I had a 20% rise in weight. So from first set to top set, I had 3 sets. I had to have a 20% spread was the goal, give or take. It was a guide. And I ended at a weight that was probably like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 effort. So Monday, my back was still pissed off. So I actually held off and I trained Tuesday because I needed good extension for my log. Wednesday, today, I'm right up into another deadlift day. So we can't go heavy again because it'll probably make my training shit the rest of the week. So what we're doing is we add about 250 pounds of band tension. So it's as you go up against the bands, they get tougher and tougher and tougher. So you have to accelerate your lift. If you don't build speed, the bands will just pull you right back to earth. So we utilize that speed work. Now, mind you, I'll have anywhere from 275 to 335 on the bar, plus 250 pounds of band tension. So for me, that's where I know that's roundabout where my speed work lies. And we're using that speed because speed is the fundamental ground floor for strength. You need to learn that acceleration. The reason being is if you're not trying to accelerate a really, really heavy lift, you're going to stall. It's the same input. It's just you're not actually accelerating visibly, but you're inputting to accelerate. And that's how you don't fail a higher effort lift. So we use these things like speed work, which are less taxing on your nervous system because it's not a total tonnage, right? It's about velocity. And we use things like eccentric to keep effort high, tempos, so it'll require less weight, but it'll require high effort and it taxes your nervous system differently. And that's how you kind of have to attack a higher level of strength because I can't clean and press 350 pounds every single week. I will be destroyed. By the end of this training block, I'm training for Worlds in November. By the end of this training block, when I start my peak, I'm going to be absolutely beat to shit. And those 4 weeks are going to be brutal because they're going to simulate contest, but they're going to simulate contest at a really high rate. So when I get to contest feels easy. So we're packing on strength now. And then after that peak, we do neural work. So we do really, really light variations of the movements I need to do in contest to ingrain that muscle memory. That muscle memory is actually neural pathways. Your muscles don't remember. When you're learning a new lift, you're creating a neural pathway. So when you're learning that speed work, you're creating that new neural pathway to ingrain that acceleration. It's actually training the brain as much as it is training the body. So we have to attack a high level of strength from a bunch of different playing fields to get a result that we want. So the program that I wrote for Workhorse that's kind of being tested right now, it has rotating percentages. And you'll see sets at 70, 80, 90%, as well as sets at 50, 60, 70%. And those 50% rep ranges are going to be faster. I didn't inherently put like speed work like A big common tool we use in the strength world is every minute on the minute. So speed work will be 50%, 3 reps every minute on the minute. And it's boom, every rep the same, every rep explosive. So I built going into Worlds in 2024, we had a 700-pound axle deadlift for reps. I didn't deadlift in training within 100 pounds of my contest weight. The heaviest I got was a 585 axle for a certain rep scheme. And we put total tonnage on my axle. I'd never pulled a 700-pound axle before. It's significantly harder than a regular bar. I never pulled a 700-pound axle before. But I went in with the ability to pull 1, 2, maybe 3. And how do we do that without coming anywhere near a 700-pound axle? And it's through things like the speed work, the tempos, the isometrics, the pauses, ingraining that strength. It's the same reason why when we're doing, you hear me giving advice for someone pull-up progression, where they can say they only do one. What do they do after they do that one? That tempo eccentric on the way down is going to build that fundamental strength at the ground floor to lead you into doing 2 and then 3. So it's not necessarily just adding weight and getting stronger. Sometimes it's how you move the weight. A lot of times it's how you move the weight and at the tempo and rate of speed you move the weight that also goes into building strength. Crickets. Okay. Nice.
It's because of the processing, Nick. You blew
Mind
too many
blown.
lines.
Gabriel,
Wow.
go ahead. You've been waiting patiently.
Thank you. Hi. So I have this question. I'm currently training bodyweight on my 3rd program this year, and basically I would like to transition to training with weights to build strength. But I've never, like in my life, I've tried the dumbbells a few times, but I could really like count it on my hands probably. I've never trained with barbells or any machines. So every time I trained something, it was mostly bodyweight. So I was thinking, and I wanted to get your opinion, that I would maybe start with only dumbbells first. I can get a set of dumbbells for home. I can train there. And once I would go through several like rounds of the programs in the app, then I maybe could get a barbell. Maybe, with a way that I can move safely because I cannot fit a squat rack at home in my apartment. So I was thinking that once I would need to try higher weights with a barbell, I would maybe start going once a week to a gym. And I was wanting to ask you whether I'm missing anything much from like strength building point of view if I go this route, if I start with only dumbbells without going like full gym experience.
You're talking to someone who just jumped straight into the gym, right? So the beauty about a barbell is it's 45 pounds empty. So you can learn. I'd find it hard to believe you can't deadlift, an empty barbell that's 20 kilos with 5 kilo plates on either side. You're a grown ass able-bodied man. So there's no reason why you can't actually learn to lift at a light enough load, right? With this resource we have here by submitting videos and going straight to the gym and learning how to move a barbell. I will always, always, always advocate getting on the barbell. I understand and I love how conservative you are. I think that's better than going in and just throwing as much weight on the bar and training like an idiot. But I think you're proceeding with a little too much caution. I say get to the gym and start learning the barbell movements now because it will progress you faster than using 40-pound dumbbells for everything.
Right.
I think it will benefit you greatly. You'll learn how to move better across a wider variety of movements, and you won't be as limited as what you're able to do. I say get in the gym and learn, record it, submit videos, and we'll get you cooking, man. Like, there's a ton of resources between the other Zoom calls that are on the YouTube on me coaching deadlift. You can watch those and learn deadlift, learn squat, learn bench press just from these Zoom meetings and the resource here. You have the tools. You just, I think, the trigger.
Yeah, with the trap bar, I know I can deadlift higher weight because I've done it on a meetup. So I know I can do it. It's more about like whether I can like start, because I have really like small arms. So I was thinking that maybe it's enough of a load, because I know like overhead press, for example, I don't need a large weight because I won't be able to press it, right? But and I know that I can get the barbell even at home, a shorter one, I guess, because I cannot fit a large one. But the only problem is really like the squat rack. So I would have to go to a gym if I wanted to try bigger weights for a squat.
Are you set on strictly working out from home?
No, not necessarily. But I would like to be able to have the option to train also at home if I cannot get to the gym at any time.
Okay. So my 2 cents is get in the gym, but it's okay to accumulate equipment over time and have for those days. Let those be the days where like, oh shit, I'm out of time. Work's been busy. I've got literally 30 minutes to get this in before I got to go do real life stuff. And then you can modify your workout and do what you need to do with the stuff you have at home. But prioritize going to the gym and learning, you know, the movements fully and wholeheartedly.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Ben.
Hello. Sorry, just before I jump into what I wanted to ask, I just wanted to add something for Gabriel. A year ago, I was in that precise predicament. It frightened me, having never done anything like that before. I was scared I would hurt myself, or I would just do it wrong, and I don't know. Perhaps God would laugh at me or something. You stand to lose absolutely nothing by trying, my friend, and you may as well. Honestly, you're far more capable than you are. I've learned this just by doing, and I know you will as well. Jump in with both feet. You're absolutely going to be amazed at yourself very, very quickly, because I certainly was. I hope
you,
that's
Ben.
some help to you.
Thank you.
Of course, Nick, coach. A question. I've got a very specific goal in mind. I'm training for something specific next year. I'm trying to raise my cardio base for that. As somebody of my sort of body weight, obviously that's a little tricky. What I'm doing is I've been rucking a lot more. I've been increasing the weight in my bag. I'm up to 20 kilos. I'm walking 4 miles several times per week. I'm at a point where I'm not made of time. Do I just keep increasing weight, or do I just try and go faster, or am I just being dumb about the programming of this?
What's the goal?
Madly, I thought I would attempt to take part in a 5K, but because it's something I've never done before, and I thought, well, I might as well try.
5K run?
And yeah, and I thought, while I'm so heavy, to try and build while I'm losing weight, I want to start getting my cardio base up before I'm at a point where I can start running safely, because my doctor has said to me, absolutely do not start running yet.
Yeah, you don't
heavy.
want heavy impact at your size.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, you've got the right idea. I also think ruck marching is hilarious, because the military, we had to do it, and we had to do it with like a minimum of 75 pounds, and I absolutely fucking hate it.
I bet.
And like at the end of air assault school, we had 2.5 hours for a 12-mile ruck after like this 4-week school of getting the shit smoked out of us and learning to rappel out of helicopters and sling load. And so I have a very special hatred for ruck marching personally. But it can be a good tool if done correctly. If done incorrectly, you can mess yourself up, just like with lifting. I think when it comes to learning to do that, there's some factors. Your gait, how much weight you're using. Typically people who walk really heel heavy, your heel actually acts like a brake when you run or you walk. It actually transfers all that impact up through the leg into the knee joint, then up through that into the hip joint. So that's where you see a lot of problems with heel dominant walkers and runners. And the human foot is actually not designed to run heel toe. It's actually designed to roll and then move forward. So that's a little harder to do when walking versus running. Literally Nike single-handedly changed the way humans run when they released the thick-heeled shoes. That was the complete pivot on how humans run. With that being said, being very conscious of how you move, listening to your body when you're under those, weights. I think it is okay to push pace, and raising that intensity for more duration and more duration. What you don't want to do is wreck yourself before you get to the point of being able to hit your goal. So there's things you can do, like with your workouts. You can simply reduce rest and pick up the tempo of the entire workout. One of the best things, one of the most effective, I forget who it was, and Adam's a nerd. He might have this on hand. There was a guy that trained for like a marathon or something, strictly just doing weightlifting. It's one of the most cardiovascular exercises you can do. And this goes back to how I was saying, it all depends on how you lift. So, cardio for strongman. We do cardio, but I'm not running. I'm moving the weight in a certain manner for a certain time with a certain intensity. So I'm literally building my cardio through lifting weights. So it can be done. I think throwing in the rucking was a good idea, adding that extra cardio throughout the week, but finding that balance of being able to recover, and maintain your workout intensity is something you're definitely want to pay attention to, and it's kind of a trial by error. You're gonna have to learn what your body can handle. So if you hit the gas pedal, you're on the gas pedal for 2 weeks, and then the end of that 2 weeks, you're like, I'm cooked. We got to change something because you can't maintain that. So maybe reduce something as far as maybe the intensity or the pace at which you work out, or the loads you're moving, or the weight in the ruck, or the pace you're rucking, and hold that for another 2 weeks. And when that starts getting easy, add a little bit more. But there's no reason why you can't, do both and keep progressing. It just comes down to how you execute your weightlifting and the ruck marching. I think if you're comfortable with how you're ruck marching now, add a little bit of pace, time your ruck marches, have a set distance, and try and shave a couple seconds off every week or two, if that. So it's same thing as like progressive overload. We're just doing it with time and not weight.
I see. Okay, so really just keep doing what I'm doing. Because I'm marching up lots of hills and things around in my area.
If it's working right now, keep doing it.
Good. I'm in that pace where I'm always you're thinking, could this be more efficient? And I thought, hey, while I've got you here, I'll ask.
Potentially, but right now, like, efficiency is normally a priority, but right now you have a system that works. So until it's not working, there's no good reason for us to throw a wrench in the mix.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
We got some Q&A questions I was going to answer here. So Juliana Petkovic. Hi, I had a couple of questions about the nutrition tracker for clarity. Adam, this might be where you step in. If I go out to eat, does that always count as a free choice meal? Yep, Adam, definitely take this one, regardless of what I order, as that's what I've been doing so far due to the restaurant fat tax. Also, if I have caloric drink, coffee, or a free choice meal, is it correct to also try and figure out what macros are for what I've eaten, drank, and add those into the app. I've got no fucking clue. I hope Adam's still in here. Adam! Hey, Dad.
I saw him leave though. I think he's not here.
Yeah, he's not here.
Yeah,
So.
I wish I could answer this. I need to educate myself a little bit more on the nutrition tracker app because it is not how I understand and track nutrition. So it's hard for me to answer that question because I do it the old fashioned way. I do the macros. I have a set number of macros for my proteins, fats, and carbs on a 24-hour period, and that's what I have to hit. It just seems so much simpler. Of course, Adam disappeared. Andy, hey Nick, my deadlift form still sucks. I kind of feel dumb on this exercise. It feels kind of right, and I try hard to turn my hip forward for a straighter back. I think he's referring to that anterior tilt. But when I see my videos, I'm still rounding my back quite a lot. Any recommendations? Do I have to train more cat cows or something specific stretching? Andreas, first of all, send a video so I can see exactly what's going on because that will allow me to appropriately assess and provide a correction. Odds are if you're getting yourself in a position, your back's still rounding, you're not bracing. There's some other breakdown in that overall brace that's not allowing you to hold that position is my knee-jerk reaction to seeing that. But I would love for you to submit a video so I can see exactly what's going on so I know exactly how to coach you. Guy, Coach Nic, I'm submitting a new video of my deadlifts from this week. Last week you saw my video and I was squatting too much. I tried to correct that on this video and found it to be much easier and more comfortable, not having to clear my knees. Let me know if you see other issues I can work on, and thanks very much for your input, of course. All right, so that's all the Q&A tab. Do we have any more actual questions before we get into the videos here? Going once.
Yes, Nick, this is Benoit speaking.
Okay, hit me.
Yeah, so you remember I told you that I have some pain in my left lat. Yesterday it was near my armpit, and it felt like the muscle that is being mashed, and so it doesn't hurt much, but it's always something that is annoying. And something that I noticed is it feels like my arm isn't properly attached to my shoulder. I don't know if how to explain that, but it feels like there's an empty spot inside my shoulder. So like if I would need to do some exercises to strengthen the shoulder. So I think
that one, if it's continuous like this, how long has it been going on at this point?
it's just since I've started the program maybe 2 months ago. So it started pulling in the lat, doing the RDLs.
You should
Maybe
go get an assessment from like a sports PT man because it's been there for 2 months. It could be an underlying issue that could need some sort of attention and corrective. And I can't give you an in-person assessment. So
okay.
I honestly think at 2 months in, you should go get an assessment from some sort of sports doc to see what the actual causation is. Because this is how the body works, right? I was having pain in where my glute meets my hamstring.
Yep.
I was treating that myself. Turns out it was actually my quad, but it was surfacing there. So my quad was so tight, it was pulling up through my abdomen and my psoas, which your psoas runs in through your ab, which is pulling on my erector, which is pulling on my glute, and was surfacing in at the top of my hamstring and my glute. So this could be a situation like that where the pain isn't local. Well, the pain's local, but the root cause is not. Something else could be bound up that's causing that pain. But I can't physically sit there and move you around and
Yeah.
and figure out what exactly is going on. So 2 months in is a long time for a little thing to persist. Especially that adjusting movement different ways, it's still there. So I think you should go get an assessment at this point.
Okay, all right. Another question is doing squats. After five sets of 5 reps, my inner quad on the right leg was started to be really burning, but just on one leg. So what might be the cause?
So when you say inner quad, are you talking like in here?
Exactly. Well, no, not the just a little higher. So near the kneecap.
Oh, so okay, so like the teardrop, like right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
It's
it.
burning.
So
Like
it
like
so
pump.
pardon me?
Like it's like a pump kind of burn.
Pump, but near pain, like.
Um,
But
I
that
mean,
was after the 5 sets, but not between, not during the sets, but after those, and it felt like okay, I should stop, like stop doing leg work for that day.
I mean, it sounds like you just cooked your quads. That doesn't seem too alarming. It sounds like you were just kind of they were tired and they were burning.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
but why only on one side, one leg,
there's
just
an
the right leg?
imbalance. You're favoring one side or the other. One side's weaker than the other. Um, much like when April squats, she has a slight hip shift to the right. That's a subtle imbalance in either hip mobility, strength, something taking over, picking up the slack. I uh I also have a slight hip shift occasionally when my back is pissed off, because my body naturally guards that left side. So it could just simply be that, and the only way to continue strengthening that is continue movement, or especially paying attention on like lunges, like when you're doing unilateral movements with your legs.
Yeah.
Does it happen then? Does one leg fatigue out faster than the other?
Okay. All
So
right. So that. Thank you, Nick.
yeah, of course. Um, all right. Any other questions before we jump into these form checks? No? All right. No, let's get these videos fired up.
All right. Sorry. Here we go. Who's this?
Oh, well fucking played.
I can't believe you can't hear what I'm saying. I'm saying,
I
like,
can't hear,
know.
but well played.
I'll send you the video, Nick. She sent me this like 3 days ago, and so I
Oh,
wanted to do
that's
this one
too
first.
funny.
wait a minute. I go one more, and then I go, hey, and then I go, let's fucking go. So there's my outfit
Outstanding.
for you.
You did not disappoint.
Fantastic.
Thanks, mate.
And let me see you do a clean and press with the beard on.
I
Careful.
know.
Or, hey, listen, that's like having a yak on your face. I don't know how you deal with it.
You just forget it's there.
No, you don't. All right, enjoy.
Well done,
Had to.
April.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. Thanks for sending him that.
So
Oh,
for
yeah.
people that aren't understanding the joke here, I gave her some shit because she had like the same outfit on, and we were kind of convinced that she was just sending us the same video over and over again. And she was like, "You're gonna eat your words because I'm gonna do something next week," and that was the result.
Listen, my ass is getting up at 5 a.m. I know exactly what I'm putting on to go work out. That's why. Fight me. All right. See ya.
So, looks like a Smith machine. What's the variation here? Is it a conventional deadlift, RDL, stiff leg deadlift? Because it's kind of a little both. So I'm unsure of what it is. And you're very toe heavy. You see this heels getting light. We need to have our heels loaded. So what I'll do is, if this is supposed to be a conventional deadlift, first of all, deadlifting on a Smith machine is really hard because it has a fixed bar path. And it's kind of at a slight angle, and it kind of fucks you up. With that being said, if these are supposed to be conventional, we need more leg drive, and we need you to get on your heels. I would almost, it looks like the bar's pulling away from you, so I would almost flip around so the axis of that bar path is towards you, versus away. If it's supposed to be RDL, you need to get your butt way past your heels. If you look here, his heels get super, super light. And he gets toe heavy, which on any sort of compound movement, whether it's squat or deadlift, we don't want to be getting heels up light. So I would like a little more context on what the program movement was supposed to be. That helped me help you a little bit more, because it's kind of an in between. And I would get on the other side of the bar, because it looks like I said you're doing the bar path where it's kind of moving away from you a little bit, and that would help us. That would help you out a little bit more, because you see how far away that bar is. Next one. So these are pretty good. The angle's hard to see depth. It looks shallow. When we're filming squat and we're looking for depth, we kind of want hip height from the side straight on. That gives us the best point of view. But it looks like there's some slight travel forward as he descends, which is then causing him to fold, and he goes into flexion. We want to keep that chest out, and keep that back nice, neutral, and flat. And that will help eliminate some of that forward and that folding with the back. So if you initiate your squat by kicking your hips out just behind you a little bit versus bending at the knees first, that should set you up for a much better bar path position. Because you're kind of coming down and then folding in your midsection. So we really need to keep a nice rigid brace to help support that weight. And we need to get a little bit deeper. That folding is a big hindrance on how deep you can go for sure. So, yeah. Next. Uh-oh, we got a dud.
Oh, let me try going back to it. I'm gonna try to refresh, and if that doesn't work, then I'm really sorry, brother. There we go. Nice. Ah, damn it. That's no good. I'm really sorry, y'all. This is weird. My Wi-Fi is good. All right, I'm sorry. I'll go back to that one. We'll see if this is the persisting issue for everything else. Everybody enjoy Ray's back ripples.
That's a textbook pull up. See how he's initiating it with pulling with his back first and then finishing with the arms, contracting those shoulder blades, squeezing with the back first instead of the arms. That's great pull up form, Ray. I don't really have a thing to give you on this one. This is textbook, man. Good job.
Showing off.
All right. If I remember correctly, we were looking at width on this one.
Exactly, the feet.
Yep. Got a little bit of hip shift, but that's okay.
At the wobbly knees.
Yeah, so that input is going to be changed by you driving your knees out over your pinky toes. So as you descend, you actually want to push your knees out. And this is what the front view gives me, is it allows me to see what else is going on that the side view obviously doesn't. So pushing pushing those knees out also creates tension in your glutes.
Okay.
Slightly pointing your toes out and pushing your knees out over them engages the glutes a little bit more and creates a tension on the way down, just like packing our shoulders on a bench press creates lat tension. This is how you guide your hips down the center, is getting those glutes firing on the way down. You might be able to go a hair wider. That might help you out with depth a little bit more. How does that feel at that width?
This feels all right, because I was feeling my knees going outwards, but I was trying to pull them back in. So maybe that's it. It's just like I was
No,
struggling against that.
we don't want them to come in.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
want our knees tracking outwards, pushing them out towards our pinky toes creates a much better power line.
Okay.
It keeps basically our femurs in line with our hips, and when they track in like that, we lose horsepower essentially.
Okay.
It creates like a collapse in the chain.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm really glad you sent this point of view, because this allowed us to address a big thing.
cool. Okay, so I think, yeah, putting my feet a little bit wider, like a hair wider, is totally fine.
Just a little bit.
All right. Just a little bit. See you next week.
Cool. These are looking better. You're a little bit forward. If you look at how on some of the reps, his shoulders are slightly past the bar, and he's actually coming down out front. So, guy, I literally want that bar scraping up your shins. Noah sent me a picture from his training. He had the red 11s. He had scrape marks from the barbell up his shins. And that is a really good indicator that that bar is as close as possible. You see how your hips shot up there on that first rep. So we want to stop touch and goes, because we want every rep to be the same until we get, you settled in your deadlift form, and it's like clockwork. So if you still look, as you come down, you come out and around, and then you're toe heavy again. So we need to push your hips back a little bit so you're not as folded over, and push that chest out. And that will give you that more vertical shin line and that clearance. So you're not actually traveling around your knees still. Because on that first rep, you see how your hips kicked up, your knees kicked back, and then you had this much room between you and the bar. So that's what we're trying to fix, is the leverage angle here. So we need to get you out leveraging the bar versus the bar out leveraging you. So we need to get you back, mid-foot heel pressure, push that belly button down towards the floor, so those hips rotate down and forward, and you feel that stretch in your hamstrings right before you pull. So you do a pretty good job of, I see the intention, that brace, you brace the lats, you snap the bar, that was great. We just need to get that to go all the way down the line to your hips, and we need to get you back. But this is a great step in the right direction. We're gonna dial this in. So good job. Doing his cat cow, trying to feel that interior tilt. These are better. We're still a little bit in flexion, but it's not a detrimental amount of flexion. These are getting much better, man. You're very conscious of it, which is a really good sign. I would say see how low your hips are. Maybe let's bring your hips up another like inch, and it'll be a little easier to get that nice long curve out of your back into something a little bit more neutral. Along with that, snap that bar so you're pulling yourself into position. When I set up on a deadlift, I start out in flexion and I literally use the weight on the bar and I pull myself into position and brace at the same time. So I pull myself to the bar. Because you can't, unless you just go down and grip it and rip it, which is fine once you've, dialed in your deadlift form and you're going to get where you need to be. I'd like to see you pull your chest, use that bar to pull your chest out. Let's bring your hips up slightly. And I think it might be a little bit easier for you to get into position. And I mean, maybe an inch, because if we go up too high, you're going to be RDLing it. And that's not what we want. So, you're making good progress, man. Little by little, we're going to get there. Next. Your RDLs are great. Maybe a little too deep. You fold right there. So just make those a little bit shallower. Otherwise, you're where you need to be for the RDLs. Kettlebell swings. So this is one of the most common things I see with kettlebell swings is they literally just tip and fold at the hinge point at the hips versus catching the dumbbell with our legs on the way down and using our legs in conjunction with our back to throw that kettlebell up. So as you push the ground away, you squeeze your butt and your hips come through and they rocket that kettlebell versus just bending over repeatedly. It gets a little bit more in the movement. And actually, when you do things like high reps, it'll give you a little bit more longevity without just cooking your back. Because we want our legs doing it. So we want to arrest the dumbbell with our legs. So as we come back up, we're pushing the ground away with our feet and we're squeezing our butt to rock those hips through. And then our forearms rocket off our hips. This isn't bad form. It just needs some efficiency. Next. Yes. Andreas, your squat looks awesome. A hair deeper, and you are without question at depth, but you're right there, man. We just need to get you a little tiny bit deeper. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. You're right there. I love how these are progressing. I love how you're braced. That chest is proud. You have a nice neutral spine. These are fantastic, man. Next. And as you can see, Andreas took to squatting. His squatting's progressing form-wise faster than his deadlift. It's not uncommon for people to kind of favor a squat, a bench, or a deadlift. It's just person to person. All right, so we are rowing up high, and we are completely in flexion in that row. So I want to see you kind of in that RDL position with that nice neutral spine. And I want you to row more towards your belt and less towards your chest. Because you're arresting with your back, essentially. You're completely in flexion versus we want a nice rigid midsection. So think of it like being in a little bit more of an RDL position and rowing it towards your belly button and belt versus up high towards your chest. Next. Dumbbell front squats. Getting it done in the kitchen. That way you can go get gains right away. Love it. This is actually the way he's doing them with how he's holding the dumbbell requires a lot of stability, and it's actually impressive.
Thank you.
That's hard. Ideally, you'd want to use like a goblet squat form with one really heavy dumbbell, but that's okay. Another option is you can actually roll them up onto your shoulders like this and front squat.
To be honest, Nick, I really struggle with that just because my right shoulder is, to put it lightly, fucked. I've really, really got to build up, like, well, not build up, but rebuild. My traps on the right side are just non-existent from skateboard injury, like 20-something years ago, and it just atrophied away over a number of weeks. That it's just getting it up there is just. It's something I really struggle with.
Can you make a singular dumbbell really heavy?
With what I've got at home, I could probably go up to about I could go 40. I could probably go 44K.
Okay, what are you at with these two?
Those are 20.5s.
Oh, each?
Yeah, 20.5s each.
Okay, so let's jump up to that 44 kilo single dumbbell and work with that and hold it vertically with your arms under one side. And I think you'll find you'll be able to focus on the squat a little bit more than balancing the dumbbells. The upside to this is probably really testing your core strength and your stability. So that's where I do want to commend you, is that's probably hard. Your squat form overall is great. I just don't want you to be limited about how much you can squat because of the way you're holding the dumbbell.
Okay.
But otherwise, good job, man.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Great rack position.
Thank you.
Okay, so overall, these are good. I'd like to see you slow the descent slightly.
Okay.
The main reason is when the faster you were descending, you were folding and rolling forward. And when you get up to like your heavier sets, that's really going to work against you. The bar is going to want to get out away from you, and it's going to cause you to fold probably from rib cage up. So I want to slow down your descent a little bit because I want you to try and be a little bit more conscious of sitting vertically versus folding and kicking out your hips like you would on a back squat.
Okay. I'm learning to do the grab the hold that way. So maybe that's why a little bit I'm
the only reason you can hold it like that, this is a testament as to why this grip is superior. Because if you were to fold like that using any of the other front squat variations, especially the arm crossover, you wouldn't be able to hold on to that bar. That's how effective that grip is. But as you get heavier, it's going to cause you to fold. Because when you're leaning forward, you're taking that bar and moving it away from your center. So it's creating more leverage for the bar than it is for you. So that's why I want you to start by slowing your descent and focus on, as you descend, pull the floor apart with your feet. So it creates that glute tension and it guides your hips down right over your heels.
Yeah. So
yeah. But overall,
Yeah.
you're like 90% there. We just
All
gotta
right.
work on one thing.
All right, cool. Sounds
Good
good.
job.
Thank you for the bench press too the other day.
Of
I know Jen
course.
sent a video.
Anytime. Happy to help.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. This is the goblet squat technique I was just referring to. It's essentially a front squat. So, Jonathan, same thing. You're folding, versus I want to see you upright and bracing, supporting that way with that core, because the folding's actually preventing you from getting deeper. You're not getting as deep as you could be. So I would drop weight and work on staying upright, keeping that proud chest and sitting down, versus folding down. Because if you look, your first initiation is you bend over right away. So if we keep that in a much more upright position, you're going to not only be more supported, but you're also going to feel it in your quads more. Next. A lot of front squats today. Rack position looks good. It's a nice rack. Yes. It looks like, I can't tell from here, but it looks like those knees might be collapsing a little bit. I can't tell. You could get a hair deeper. A hair deeper. We don't got to bury it, but I'd like to get a hair deeper on these. Yep, there was that fold. And good call. You started to you were at your limit right there for sure. Overall, this is a good front squat. I'm being picky because you're getting a lot right. That folding, definitely brace, core strength. But we definitely just want to get you a little bit deeper. Otherwise, there's not too much to overcorrect here. Like I said, it looks like your knees might be folding, but it could just be the angle. I can't really tell. And just in case they are, the same cue I gave earlier, drive those knees out over your pinky toes on the way down and the way up. And that will also help you with that folding at the hips and the core. So next. Was everyone on the same part of the program? Damn. Ass to grass, son. And there's a little pause. Now he's just showing off. These are great. Like posture, everything. The only thing is, I would say don't go as deep. And this is why. When you see him come out of the hole, you notice how his hips kick up and then he comes up all at once. So that is, as you get heavier, that's actually going to cause you to pitch forward. I got to commend you on your ability to get that deep. That is fantastic. We need to, if you're going to go that deep, we need to get you coming out of the hole all at once. But your hips kick up and then you squat up. So hips, bit, and then you come up in unison. So I would say shallow it out just slightly, because you're well past depth. If anyone tells you you're not squatting deep enough, they're blind as a bat on a moonless night in a coffin, because there's that is absolutely buried. So yeah, let's shallow that out, which I don't get to say very often. Shallow that out so your hips don't kick out and then you come up. So you come up out of that hole all at once. But otherwise, fantastic job. I love your posture from the hips up. You've got great mobility. Good job, man. Next. front squat and deadlift.
And Nick, we got a 15-minute warning on this,
Tell it
but
to.
we should be able to make it.
Yeah, these are great. Keep those weights close. Push your hips back a little bit further. Pushing your hips back should bring those weights in. When you're doing, if this is supposed to be like an RDL or is it a conventional? Because you're doing more of an RDL. If that's the goal, push those hips back so the point where you can wiggle your toes. We really want to get our hips behind us. Your posture, your brace, everything looks good. Your back's nice and neutral. I love it. Just clean it up a little bit with getting in the right position is all, with where our hips need to be. Next. Oh, is she about to? Oh, okay. Never mind. We were good, Noah. She sent us another video.
Cool.
She has great movement pattern. This is the on the shoulder rack position that I was referring to earlier. These are great. She may be a little wide. It's hard to tell. She's got some long legs, but a little shallow. So maybe bring our feet in slightly, like a toe width on either side. Keep those toes pointed out. I love your control. I just want to see you get a little bit deeper. It's overall like your movements are intact. It's just some nuances. So, great job. Next. These are good. See how he's pulling back towards his belly button? Back's neutral. John, great job. Got no issue with these whatsoever. Okay. These are pretty good. There's some people say keep your pinky up when you do these. I'm not a stickler for something like that. A raise is a fucking raise. And these are pretty good. Outside of kind of tipping at the end and bringing your shoulder to your ear, what you can do is kind of take I know you're holding a camera to record. I like to use the rack on the one side. I don't have cables, but when I did, I would use the rack to kind of keep me at a slightly leaned over angle. So when I raise, I'm actually trying to raise it out away from my body, and I would feel it more actually in my shoulder. Get a little bit harder of a pump that way. But overall, there's nothing wrong with these. Next. Oof. Yeah, you were super wide, man. With your grip, you were almost flirting with getting into snatch grip territory, which makes you fold over more. You want those arms coming down right out the outside of your legs. You never set your hips. So you pretty much tried to stiff leg deadlift that. There we go. That position there, and then your hips shot up. So that's a matter of brace and core strength. You weren't able to bear the weight, so your hips shot up. You failed on the lift. It just wasn't there. We need to bring those arms in closer to your legs because the further you get out, the more you have to bend over. You want to utilize that arm length, so it brings your chest up higher. So when your hips try to shift to that position where your leg drive wants to start, your chest is already there. Next. It just wasn't there today, man. It'd be like that sometimes. You finished the rep though. You locked that shit out. And I know that's something we were working on before. That's a lockout. Well done. If that's max effort, I'm not going to beat you up on this, man. Good job. Dumbbell seated clean and press. Yeah, those are fine. I mean, the rolling over into flexion, I would try to minimize. You can kind of use a little bit of a backswing instead of folding over. So you pick up and jerk with your shoulders. You get that kind of like jerk motion you see people do with like a barbell. A little bit of backswing with them, and then pow, you flip them right up. Any sort of clean, there's a delicate balance between momentum, power, and bar path. So overall, not bad. I would just like to see a little bit less flexion right there and just curling over with it and putting all that torque into your lower back and spine. But not bad. Manhandling the weight. Next. So this is a good deadlift. We just need to set your back. See how you set your back on the way down, right here, and then you fold. Before you fold is what the kind of posture we're going for out of the hole. So that cat cow cue you've heard me give a dozen times, to get some of that anterior pelvic tilt, is going to be what we're going for. You have a good pull. The bar path is pretty good. Your shoulders are over the bar. Bip, straight bar path. I love the way you finish the lift. You squeeze the shit out of your butt and accelerate your hips to the bar. Overall, you're doing very well. We just need to fix your start position. So remember, push that butt back a little bit so your hips rotate down. Push that belly button to the floor. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings and your glutes. And really brace down into that midsection. Next. How much time we got, Noah?
We got like till 7:45, but so we should be totally fine.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back to the one that wasn't playing. So we have three more. Three more.
Ooh. Didn't finish those first two reps. So you're completely in flexion. That belt's doing absolutely nothing. You have the right idea here, but you're out front. You're definitely toe heavy. And you just pulled literally straight through your lumbar. So and those lockouts were non-existent. All right, so your deadlift needs a total rework. And that's okay. We need to get you back more towards your heels. We need to drop your hips a little bit, and we need you to drop a shitload of weight. Because if you continue to progress with that form, you will hurt your back without a doubt, 100% chance. It's just a matter of when. That is brace. So this is where if you don't know how to brace, wearing a belt is useless. A belt doesn't support your back, it supports your brace. And your brace is done by your core. Your core supports your back. So we need to get you bracing. You see how tight that belt is? You can have a belt too tight. If you can't get that brace fully expanded, it's too tight. So you had the right idea here. You set a neutral spine, but your hips are so high, you're getting 0 leg drive. It was all back. So we need to drop your hips and get your butt out behind you. You're so forward that you can't actually get in a position to leg drive. And you're not getting any leg drive, so your hips actually can't get through to finish the weight. You're kind of somewhere between SDL and RDL territory here. But we need to drop weight significantly here and get you on a weight that you can support with your brace. So first things first, I would start by laying on the floor, putting a weight on your belly, and bracing into your stomach to make that weight rise and make your back push against the ground. So you learn what bracing feels like. So when you do wear a belt, you know what to do with it. Ditch the straps because it's going to give you a false sense of comfort of doable weight. When we're pulling like this, we don't need straps. We need to learn to pull. You've got the right idea. It's just we need to completely turn this around on execution. So what I want you to do is kind of sift through some of the YouTube videos on these deadlifts that we've been coaching here. And I want you to kind of focus on those exclusively and go into your next pull with that information. Because this needs a total rework, and I don't want to see you get hurt, my man. That's all. But it ain't nothing we can't fix. These are great. Boom. Good depth. Hip lines breaking the knee line. I'm happy with these. Good job. Rodrigo. Bring your butt up. Yep. So we jerked on a little bit. We need to get our back into position. You've got a lot of it right. Less jerk off the floor. And again, setting that lumbar and lower back, getting those hips in the right position. Your hips were too low, so when you jerk, your butt shot up in the air, but it was so light it just ripped off the floor anyway. Go back, yeah. Pow. Yep. Hip shot up. Under heavy weight, that's gonna wreck your shit. So under lightweight, it's not as detrimental. But we need to get you pushing the ground away versus jerking the bar off the floor. And that's going to start with you setting up that brace in your back. And then there's one you want to go back to?
Yeah. One sec. There we go. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Looks like it's getting stuck there though. Hopefully it rolls. Ugh.
Hey Noah,
I'm sorry.
no worries. I got a confirmation of the video upload yesterday, but it's not in the folder. Are these split up into another time, or is it just disappeared somewhere? I can try next time.
Sorry, I can't see who's talking right now. Who just put in the
So
video?
it's Carney
Carney.
Killian. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
weird,
gotta.
dude. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
see your name in here. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes
No,
it's
that's
been a little
okay.
finicky lately. I don't know what's going on. But go
So
ahead,
what
Nick.
we can do is this gentleman, Thomas, and then Killian. If Noah, where can they send them? And I'll just look at their videos outside of this.
Yeah, so they can just submit just wait a little bit because I need to clear the ones we've done, but maybe like in an hour or two, just upload it and say re-upload, and then I'll be able to send those videos to Nick on text. And then Nick, you can reach out however you best want to, but I would say but the app is probably the best if you can write something up, or I can even communicate your notes to them through the app. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's huge. Thanks so much. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I think the more form checks I'm throwing on this folder, the more finicky it's getting. So we got to
No
find a
problem at all.
backup somehow. But yeah, no worries, man. Just
Cheers.
go ahead and re-upload.
All right. So any closing notes, questions? I'm sure we're probably about to run out of time here. Per usual, thank you guys for showing up in numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hey,
Both of you.
sorry, just
have
a
to throw my
question. Maybe I missed mine. I don't know if you.
Who's talking right now?
Yeah. Hey, sorry. No, I submitted my vids 2 weeks now, and I don't know if it worked or not. I saw my name on the list, but maybe I don't know if maybe I skipped it because I was in the call and also working. But I'm not sure if it was there. But we can do it next week. It's okay.
This is the one, yeah?
I don't know. I can see your screen.
Yeah, we can't see.
Oh, sorry. You submitted a deadlift and a dumbbell RDL?
Bench.
Or
No,
sorry,
it was a
barbell
deadlift
bench. My
and
bad.
a barbell bench. Yeah.
We didn't see any benches there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mine's in the list as well. I assumed you get to it next time. No big deal.
Yeah,
No,
it's weird when I was
just send me
clicking
all the
through
ones we
them.
didn't get before we run out of time. Just text them
Okay.
all to me, and I will send you a video response for each one.
Okay, great.
So no one gets missed.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
What a
So
champion.
it looks like for whatever reason, when I was clicking through that list, there were some that didn't load because now I'm looking at the list and there are some of you guys on there that said that we didn't get to you. So I think what happened is just that we did the first 30 and then the other bit of them are just at the bottom. So I'm going to clear the ones we've done, and then like Nick said, I'm going to send it to him and get you guys video responses if that works.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Noah. Well done.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
That's annoying. So that won't happen anymore. But yeah.
Huh.
So Arthur, the link, just do the folder and then just make sure that you rename your file like re-upload or like for Nick check. Yeah, just like parentheses for Nick check, and then I'll be able to send those to him. But yeah,
Okay,
Carney
I'll
just
see
sent
how can
the
I do that.
Dropbox link. Yep.
Okay,
All right.
we reload it.
Yeah, well, if you have already uploaded it, all I need you to
Yeah.
do is change your name or change the name of your file to Nick Check, just so that I
Okay.
know exactly which ones to send him. But yeah, it should be pretty easy.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
No worries at all.
You guys will have both me and Jen next week, so there's rumor that it will be on a Tuesday for Jen's. So I'll probably maintain that Friday or Thursday, whatever we seem fit. But again, I love seeing all these people progress every single week. So keep it rolling, guys. As long as you keep showing up, I will.
Thanks
Killing
again,
it,
Nick. Much
everybody. Thank you
appreciated.
for showing up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
Cool.
Thank
Thanks.
you.